You're watching Seattle Seahawks today. I am Tom Downey, here with a look at Russell Wilson and his ranking on the ESPN Top 10 Quarterbacks list. Now, background here on this ESPN ranking. They polled over 50 coaches, players, execs, scouts, etc. for their quarterback rankings. In the end, Wilson checked in at number 4 on the list, and Wilson was as high as number 2 and actually was rated as low as number 9, which doesn't really make any sense, but that's where he ended up being. Now, we'll go through the top 5 here for you guys. No surprise, Patrick Mahomes checked in at number 1, although I am surprised some people did not vote him at number 1. They are wrong. Aaron Rodgers was number 2. Tom Brady was number 3, a rise from what he was last year, but that's what happens when you win the Super Bowl again. Wilson was 4, and then Josh Allen was a huge riser all the way up to number 5. There were some intriguing quotes from unnamed anonymous NFL sources here. Here's what one alleged, I'll say, NFL coordinator said on Russell Wilson. Quote, he'll have easier throws to make and won't have to be the hero as much. I think the main thing is he just has to get rid of the ball faster. If he does that, he should have a good year. I completely agree with this coordinator. I think that the new scheme with Shane Waldron as the OC will lead to Wilson hopefully getting the ball out faster. Wilson has always been a hold the ball very long, and that's okay. He makes enough plays off script, off of schedule, that you're willing to deal with the sacks that he takes sometimes a little bit too frequently. But the goal is to get early season Russell Wilson. That guy was the MVP favorite. The last 9 games from Russell Wilson weren't nearly as good. What I thought happened, teams adjusted, they took away the deep vertical shots, and Wilson and the offense simply failed to adjust and be able to take the underneath stuff. As the coordinator said, he needs to do that this year. Hopefully Dwayne Eskridge, Gerald Everett, etc. will help the team do that this season. There was also an unnamed NFL offensive player who chimed in on Russell Wilson. First however many games, you were saying he's the best in the league. But when you rely so much on the off-schedule stuff, that's where you can get into the interceptions. So I think the player and the coordinator are going at similar stuff here. You don't want to abandon the off-schedule stuff, the holding the ball forever, that's very valuable. I get that. But I do think Wilson and the offensive scheme needs to allow the checkdowns to be there. They weren't there enough last season. The shorter routes that weren't open or didn't develop or Wilson didn't see, whatever, did lead to a regression down the stretch. But I do think the Seahawks offense should be better for Wilson this year. We mentioned Eskridge and Gerald Everett coming aboard, and I think the offensive line will also be better. Now, one big note here. This does, of course, assume that everyone's healthy in Seattle, but assuming they are, Dwayne Brown, Brandon Shell back at left tackle, right tackle, same as what it was last year. They played well when healthy. They added Gabe Jackson. That was really the only major move this team did on the offensive line, but it is a big one. I think he is a big-time upgrade over what Seattle was throwing out there last year because they just weren't healthy. Damian Lewis now moves over to left guard. I'm excited about what this team is able to bring on the offensive line. So with all that in mind, I have a challenge for you guys here. Don't go full homer on me. Try to be honest and objective wherever that lands you. I want you guys to rank Russell Wilson, as I almost said his name wrong, rank Russell Wilson among NFL QBs. Is he 1, 2, 4? Is he down there at 9 like one anonymous NFL connected person said? Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Let's discuss Jamal Adams and his still pending contract extension. The updates might not be great for Seattle. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN says contract talks right now are slow going, which is a fancy term for not great if you are Seattle. And Fowler even says this deal might not get done before camp or even early in training camp. It would appear that Adams is using his significant leverage in talks between Seattle and his representatives. Here's what Fowler said on ESPN on Sunday. Quote, "It's complicated because Jamal Adams has some leverage. He knows the team gave up 2 first-round picks to get him, and he's trying to reset the safety market in a big way. I'm not saying he's holding out, but this is a player who got his way out of New York over his contract. The Seahawks at least know they are dealing with a hard bargainer, someone who's willing to bet on himself. Now, becoming the highest paid safety, I believe, is an assumed reality for Justin Simmons, or for Jamal Adams. He will get more than Justin Simmons' $15.25 million. He'll get more than Budda Baker, Eddie Jackson, whatever. And that's fine if you're Seattle, because Derwin James, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Derwin if he's healthy, Jesse Bates, Harrison Smith, even Tyrann Mathieu himself, all among the players due for massive record-setting contracts, at least close to it as far as I'm concerned. So if you can get Jamal Adams for $15.5 million, you do it right now. I think Adams wants more. The mention of resetting the market is intriguing because the safety market right now lags behind all other positions on defense. Joey Bosa blew it up at edge, $27 million, more than Myles Garrett's $25. Aaron Donald's $22.5. Jalen Ramsey's $20, and Bobby Wagner's $18. Now, there's not a chance in hell I think anybody gives Adams even Aaron Donald money. That's too much. Could he get to 20? Probably not. But that Bobby Wagner figure, $18 million, almost $3 million more than any other safety, that would be resetting the market significantly. I wonder if that's what Adams is really searching for on this new deal, which could be a problem for Seattle. Now, Adams in 12 games last year, even though people call him Blitz Boy, that's not really a negative in contract talks because he had 9.5 sacks as a safety in 12 games. That's really good. So because of that, I think that the blitzing side actually gives Adams some reason to say, hey, I want more than just the highest paid safety because I'm more than a safety. That's his argument there. Now, the flip side of course, is that his coverage ability has been not great, and that's okay. There are a lot of worse safeties and even linebackers, if we want to go that route, who are worse in coverage than Jamal Adams. And he played through a ton of injuries last year, but he's in shape right now. If you've seen his Instagram posts, he's always always posting his workout videos. The coverage is not great, but the run support, the pass rush, everything else, the way that teams have to scheme almost around him at points is impactful, and that matters. So I think that's why Adams is asking for so much. I think he's asking for so much. So let's say the over-under is $17 million per year. A little bit more than the safety market, but less than Bobby Wagner. Would you pay Adams more than that figure? Type in D for deal. You'll do it. You'll give him more than 17. You'll give him 17, 18, whatever it is. Type ND for no deal. You're not going that high. Get your votes in right now.